A Special Gift, read by Mr. C, the teacher. Jamie turned 5 on a bright fall day, but he didn't feel any different. He still couldn't reach the upper cupboard that hid the marshmallows. 5 is big, said his father, big enough to find a special gift in the forest. They laced on their boots and entered the forest. They wound through the trees until they came to a giant Douglas fir tree. Jamie's father reached up and picked a cone and placed it in Jamie's hand. This Douglas fir cone contains a special gift. Can you see the little mice looking inside? Do you know what they are searching for? Jamie peered at the cone and started to chuckle. In between each scale of the cone, it looked as though the back legs and tail of a little mouse was sticking out. They are not really mice, are they? Asked Jamie. Father smiled. No, they are called bracts. If you separate them and the cone scales, you'll find some small seeds. Plant some, and one will grow into another big tree. Jamie looked from the small cone up to the top of the giant Douglas fir tree beside him. Wow, as big as this? His father nodded. It will take a long time, but you're only 5 years old, so if you plant the seeds now, you'll be able to watch your tree grow as you grow. For a few years, you will be bigger than your tree, but by the time you are ready to go to high school, your tree will be taller than you. They took the cone home, and Jamie carefully separated it and took out several seeds. First, he soaked them in water overnight, just like soaking in the winter rain, explained his father. Next, Jamie filled a pot with sandy soil and carefully planted 3 seeds. Now, place the pot in the refrigerator, and we'll leave it there for a while, his father said. In the fridge? Questioned Jamie in disbelief. Just like winter in the forest, his father explained. Then when you bring the pot out, it will warm up like the spring, and hopefully a seed will start to grow. Okay, said Jamie doubtfully, and placed his pot at the back of the fridge behind the peanut butter. For the first few days, Jamie checked his pot. Nothing happened. After a while, Jamie forgot about the seeds in the fridge. Time to warm up your seeds, said his father a few weeks later. Jamie carefully placed his pot on the windowsill and watered it. There you are, little seeds. You've got everything you need. Now you can grow. But nothing happened. For a few days, Jamie looked after his seeds, watered them regularly, and waited. Still, nothing happened. Jamie got mad. He tipped out the soil and looked at the seeds. One had changed. It was fatter, and a small white point was sticking out. That's the root beginning to grow, explained his father. Be patient and don't disturb it again. The tiny roots need to cling to the soil to take in enough food and water to grow into a baby tree. Jamie replanted his seed and tried to be patient. It was hard when there was nothing to see. The days turned into a week, and the weeks turned into almost a month, before Jamie finally noticed a bump in the middle of his pot. He watered it carefully. After a few more days, Jamie gave a yell of delight. Dad, look, I can see my tree. It wasn't a very big tree. It was just a tiny green sprout, and it didn't look like a giant Douglas fir tree. It will, reassured his father. Be patient and give your tree the food, water, and the sunshine it needs. By the time Jamie was 6, his tree needed a much bigger pot. By the time Jamie was 7, his tree was so big that he and his father ceremoniously replanted it in a sunny, sheltered place in the backyard. By the time Jamie was 8, his tree was as tall as him. Jamie grew up and got married under his Douglas fir tree in the backyard. Eventually, he and his wife had a daughter whose name was Sarah. One bright fall morning on Sarah's 5th birthday, Jamie took her to visit her grandfather, and they all stood looking up at Jamie's Douglas fir tree. Sarah's grandfather reached up, picked a cone, and placed it in Sarah's hand. "Can you see the little mice?" he said. "Do you know what they are searching for?" What will Sarah do next? This is a planting journal, and it asks you to fill it out. When and where did you find your first cone? When? Where? When and how many seeds did you plant? When and how many seeds? How long was it until you saw your first sprout? How long? When and where did you plant your new tree outside? When and where? This is a Douglas maple, a western red cedar, an Engelmann spruce, lodgepole pine, western hemlock, and a paper birch.